This daf Yomi Yerushalmi Maseches Ma'aser Sheni. Article is Razeshon daf Lamed Beis Amral, 4 lines in the top. I ended rather abruptly yesterday. I realized I'd gone past those 4 lines and I cut the tape. I cut the recording. We use tapes anymore. And going back to that today, which is 8 lines of the Bible Testament base in the Vilna. So Amr Rabbi Yossi Masiso Amr Cain. Rabbi Yossi wants to bring a raya that if you're Makdish Mesa, it has a pidyon. And he brings it's in other words, don't say that since it was once alive, I can't redeem it anymore because there's no amount of baracha. Even if I was makdish mesa, no. If I'm makdish mesa, it doesn't require amount of baracha. I can redeem it. So why? Because it says the Mishnah Meila says if you makdish a chamor to the berek habayis and there's mila in it and it's milk. So. Why I mentioned the milk separately. The milk isn't the milk like it's like dead, right? So therefore, koshu tom pidyon molimbo, and this is a little bit like sarser v'darsheu. It says anything which requires pidyon has meila. It also works the flip side. Anything which has meila must be there's pidyon. So therefore, the milk which is dead can be redeemed, right? So therefore, we see that mesa can be redeemed, and therefore that's why it has. That's why it has Mila, right? Because otherwise it wouldn't say it Mila. It has Mila, must it has Pidyon. So you see, anything dead stuff can be consecrated and then redeemed. Says more infinite again, Chavlav can be saved because Shutom Pidyon is only bo. Says more no. Infinite shame Hilchos Misa Leachol. You're going to say that in terms of Hilchos Misa. You can't say it. In other words, because like I said, we're talking about a live donkey. Well, why talk about a live donkey? You want to tell me the halacha of a dead animal? It's kind of like you're seizing the tafel here. Talk about the live donkey. Do you really mean that's the halacha of the chalav? Just tell us about the dead donkey. No, you don't need ramad of halacha. They redeem something which you're makdish dead, right? So, Amr Bechina Kum Rabbi Mana. Bechina said in front of Rabbi Mana, Tipata Rabbi Shimon. It's entirely possible. The fact that the Mishnah started going like Rabbi Shimon. The time of Shimon, Kosher B'nei Gabayis ain't to him out of Haracha. Because he holds that Kosher B'nei ain't to him out of Haracha. So therefore, it's not going to tell us anything about Makdish Mesa. Tell you about this, tell you require Hamad of Haracha, and that's why the milk, evidently, even though the donkey could require Hamad of Haracha, it's going to tell us that no, doesn't require Hamad of Haracha. And it's going like Rabbi Shimon. And in fact, the donkey itself would not require Mara Barucha, just like its milk would not require Mara Barucha. So says Mar, no. If you're going to tell me that looks like Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Shimon Lamli Chamoira. He says, if it's going to Rabbi Shimon comes, you don't require Hamara Barucha, then don't talk about donkeys, talk about regular animals. The bigger chiddush is that a regular animal, which is you can eat, right? You can't, it doesn't require Hamara Barucha, right? So why is it about a chamor? Why is it about a donkey? So it must be going like Rabbanon, right? And it's going to tell us that Behemoth Tmeah does have Marav Rocha, right? But the milk is like it's dead, and the milk which comes off it, even though the milk is kind of gets to a live animal, that's probably the reason why it's a chiddush, yeah? In other words, it's coming from live animals, so everybody might require Hamad of Arocha, right? So he's saying, even though Behemoth Tmeah has Hamad of Arocha, the animal does Hamad of Arocha, what comes out of it is like Mesa, and Mesa doesn't require Hamad of Arocha, and therefore also, by extension, we know something's Makdish and Mesa itself, it does not require Hamad of Arocha. Next part of the Gemara does have a header in the art scroll. Is Amashu Kakana Lamaisa Sheni B'chule. So this goes back on the Mishnah when somebody gives loans, containers to Ma'aser Sheni, so they become part and parcel of Ma'aser Sheni. And Rabbi Zira comes to explain this. I'm Rabbi Zira, and I see the plain Moshe on this. It's very helpful. So we're going to see the plain Moshe. Rabbi Zira says, I'm going to protect the Mikdash for Konser B'Gvuli. So the plain Moshe, time the Masisim and Farish, the kind of Satoch and Yain Stam. It's explained in the Mishnah where it says if you put wine into containers generically without any specification yet, we should suss on once you close them. Karshe Meiser, you designate them as Meiser once you close them. Kana Meiser, Kankan Meiser requires a container. Because they found Torah said the um, um, Partei usually means to make prutos, but here it means to spend money, spend the prutos, not make change, but to spend the money. Klomar b'mikdash, kudish b'makom kudish b'shalayim, place which is sanctified in Shalayim. Partei la kesem meiser, I guess it means actually it does mean take change. Take the silver, make it into copper, and use that to buy the meiser. Take everything your soul desires, the whole teeth, because it's meiser. That's what you do when you get to Yerushalmi. Partei mikdash. Konsei b'gvulin. Meaning, yesh chem meiser b'gvulin. You have meiser outside Yerushalmi. Konsei collect it, consolidate. Also Yerushalmi, Yerushalmi, eat it there. Ma b'mikdash yotza kan kanachulin. So Moshe says, what do we find when you buy wine with ma'aser money in Yerushalayim? If you buy a sealed barrel, the barrel goes out l'chulin. You learn the first paragraph. You buy sealed barrels, a place where they're sold stumos, sealed. Goes out l'chulin, even though it has a value. Doesn't matter. It goes out to chulin scot free. Because the container is subordinate to wine, kind of like the shell. We mentioned kind of like the shell or peel of a fruit. And its value is absorbed in the value of the wine. So therefore, the afkumin is you don't have to sell the kankan separately. The whole domav and eat the money you realize from its sale. Glushas meiser with glusha meiser kippur. Just something I explained there. So abekvulin nikbas kankan maser. So says umikan l'marvin the bekvulin in outside Yerushalayim ivchahu l'chumra. It goes the other way and it goes to chumra. Shemishas kriya shein l'maisa, when you designate, you have generic teva wine in your container, in your barrel. So when you designate for meiser, korei shein l'maisa kshubachavetz, you designate the wine inside the chavetz as kshubachavetz tuma, in the closed barrel as meiser sheni wine. Nasa kankan tafel yain. The container comes subordinate to the wine. The chal meiser gam kankan, and the name of meiser also derives on the kankan. Pishul olam riyam but kankan sasum shu tafel yain, because just like the shell of the fruit or the fruit becomes meiser with the fruit. So the we say that it becomes meiser sheni bench kula. Whether it's the kula, as in the first case we saw, so when you buy with kesem ma'aser Yerushalayim, and you don't have to pay separate. They don't have to separate out the cost of the kankan. It's when you're buying that wine. When you finish the kankan, the kankan is like the peel of the fruit. So here too, so what does it mean here? It's l'chumra. It means if you were to take this kankan sasum to Yerushalayim, and you actually drank the contents, right, of the kankan, right? So then you have to also sell the kankan and use that value to buy meiser additional food for meiser sheni. Okay, so that's still chumra, and Yerushalayim is kula. The kula is when you buy or use meiser sheni to buy money to buy a closed kankan. It's like buying a fruit in the shell, and the shell is not considered to have independent value. But outside Yerushalayim, also when you're makdish the wine in the meiser sheni barrel, so then the barrel becomes tafel to the meiser sheni, and therefore in Yerushalayim, when you drink the barrel of wine, you're still left with residual kedusha in that peel, which is the container, and you have to sell that container and use the proceeds in order to buy more food for meiser sheni. There's a very long explanation of this Gemara in the Art Scroll in footnote 3. He explains the difficulty in parallel, but I think we've explained it significantly well for our purposes. Just going to reiterate it again in case it was not completely clear. What we're saying is that the container is like a peel. It's a peel which can have value, though. Depends on the circumstances. So if we're in Yerushalmi and we're buying wine in a closed container with my Sheni money, so I say, you know what? I'm buying just like when the peel is insignificant relative to the fruit, so to this container is insignificant. It's whatever value has is subsumed in the wine, and therefore I don't have to go and sell the container to use the proceeds to buy more Meiser Sheni. But if I'm outside of Yerushalayim and I'm using now designating in this container the wine which is already there in the container as Meiser Sheni, so then the peel, which is the container, actually, again, because of its subordinate status, also gets the status of Meiser Sheni. And then in Yerushalayim, when I'm breaking them out, separating them, so then I have to actually use the fruit of Meiser Sheni and the peel also Meiser Sheni by selling it, using the proceeds in order to buy more food from Meiser Sheni. I hope that's clear. Okay, now we go to the next part of the Mishnah, next part of the Gemara, when there's a head of the article. Zilef was the head of the article. Zilef l'sochan stam ad shlo gofan l'chule. You put the wine in them before sealing it. Okay. So now Rabbi Chia b'shem Rabbi Yochanan said, "Kini masis." The way to understand the b'shem. Actually, lo gofan. If before you seal the barrels, kar shem, you designated the Meiser Sheni, lo kana Meiser kankan. It's like it's going to be like a peel. It's open, so it's not literally like a peel. So the kankan is not considered Meiser Sheni. We get to Yerushalayim, we don't have to sell the kankan and use the proceeds to pay for Meiser Sheni. Lo kana Meiser gofan kar shem. But if once you sealed it, you designated Meiser Sheni. So then, Kana Meiser Kankan, Meiser acquires Kankan, and as a result, when you get to Yerushalayim, even after you empty the contents, you still have to sell the container. And the container use the realized proceeds in order to buy more food for Meiser Sheni. Imet Shelo Gofan, if before you close actual government. If before you close them, Koroshen, you designated the contents of Meiser Sheni, Olos Becher Meir. So they don't have Meiser Sheni has chashivas independently of the being a Dover Chashiv. It realizes it's going to be before it became a Dover Chashiv because only a sealed barrel is a Dover Chashiv, not an open barrel. So then Olos Becher Meir. So then they got mixed together. True. We're talking about specifically truma, which is 1 in 100. So if before you designated it, before you close, you designated, so it's other bechem meah. Imish gofar shem, but if you designated it as truma after you closed it, then mekadosh was kol shem. Then the mekadosh no matter even at 1 out of 1,000, because it's already considered a chashuv. It's fascinating because you have sealed barrels in front of you in both scenarios. But if you sealed it after your korei shem, it's olechad b'meah. It didn't have the chief size of a chashuv because it wasn't get to the other bank achas. It didn't get the chashivas of Meiser Sheni, the chashivas of the kankan sort at the same time. It's only if they come together that's not olechad b'meah, that it's not batam. Imach lo gofan kara shem. If before you seal them, you korei shem, turn mechas alcohol. You could take truma from one or all of them because they all considered to be one batch. Mishukova kara shem. If after it's sealed, each was independent, just like they're not don't join together for bittul. They can't join together in order to do truma from one on the other. So mishukova kara shem, turn mechas alcohol. So each one has to have the truma on each one independently. Which obviously means it's a little difficult how you're going to do that, but somebody have to find a way to do it. I'm not sure exactly what the eight says, but we did have the Mishnah. It means you have to korei shem on part of it independently. Okay, so there's another header here on the article. Uh, no, not yet. By man varmor. When is this true? B'shel yain, by wine. With the shemen, oil is not that chashivas. Because the interaction, the chemical interaction between oil and the container is not the same as between wine and the barrel. So, whether you correct shame of my Sheni before you seal it, after you seal it, local and myself kankan. There's no, it doesn't have status of appeal. Always retains status of a simple container. There's not an organic connection. We put it that way. And therefore, whether you seal it or not, there is a bit of 100. And by Chula, and whether you seal it or not, Torah according to Chuma from one on all of them, they're not considered. They're not considered independent. Okay, now we have another header. If you want to then actually in Chule, if you want to then recombine them, so Mishnah had said that you have to pour them into one container, but it still says you only have to open them and you don't have to pour them. Difficult. This is difficult between on Beishamai. Maybe only this. What's in between this case? Chamisha sakim megoren. If you had 5 sacks in a goren and 5 sacks of grain in a silo barn. Elu chamisha sakim megoren. Elu chamisha sakim megoren. Shemay term ma'aser zelzeh. You can take so if it's open, it should be no additional different than sacks of grain, which are even they're closed in the barn where you can take trumas and ma'aser from one or the other. So why here do you have to pour all the wine into one place? So the Gemara says, changing gears here from the Kra. Supposed to go. By Ba'amar, Ba'amar, Rabbi Yoshua and Levi Amar, Al Harishona Hushva. So the before we have Rishon Levi Amar Harishona Hushva, we say Rabbi Boaz says Al Harishona Hushva. So Boaz says that which Rabbi Chanina was asked by Shammai is specifically in the last halacha. Well, it's I have to put my mic down. I hope people heard that. Let's have to check that. Okay, it might be a bit softer, but it did record, so it'll do. I'm sorry about that. So again, the way to read it is that which Rabbi Chanina was asking Beishamai, it's the last halacha that holds that you can't take trumas ma'aser from each other unless you put them back into a common vat or common gat. But that which it's considered a davar sheb'minyan, and it's not yotze b'chulin until he pours into the vat. That's not difficult from the 5 sacks, only because of the nature of the we said the organic relationship between the wine and the container. So that's why it can consider to be davar sheb'minyan and not yotze b'chulin. Shimon Levi Amar Al Rishon Shva. Shimon says no, that just since we find that by 5 sacks you take truma from one on the other, because it's considered mina mukaf, even you don't pour it into one place. So in terms of the kankanan going out l'chulin, and in terms of being oil echad u'mea, also once it's open up, it should be the batel, that halacha, that unique halacha of containers, even you don't pour it into one place. So that's the question of Beishamai, only asking an halacha of terminal zeh, also on the halachas of the batel echad u'mea, and Yotze kan l'chulin. So we should probably read in the Mishnah. Going back and read in the Mishnah again. No, it's not going to be more clear for reading the Mishnah. And so let's just leave it at that. So the Gemara says, now it says, Im, we take the words right, Ba Mar Shniya. Then we said, it says, Im Rov Revius. So it's supposed to say, not Im Rov Revius Chulin, but rather Im Amar Revius Chulin. Yeshi B'chav. Yotzer Chad Kan Kan Chulin. If this is a Tosefta, in Ma'aser Sheni Perek Beis B'rais Chav. When we say that if after you seal the barrels, you designate a Shem Ma'aser, and the Glushas Ma'aser takes effect also on the container, then specifically when you make the entirety of the container Ma'aser. But if you said a revius of the container should remain chulin, then the kankan does not become integrally part of the wine, and the kankan remains chulin. It's not included in the kedushas ma'aser sheni. So it said, "Im rov revius chulin yeshu b'chavizeh yotza kan chulin." Say it said, "Im amar revius chulin yeshu b'chavizeh yotza kan kin chulin." Rabbi Chia b'Shem Yov said, "Mastiso amar kei." He said, from our Mishnah we can derive this. Rabbi Shimon Omer Avar Chaber Chavitzani Marcha Chutz Mikan Kana Yotzel Chulin. Rabbi Shimon says when you're not korei Shem Ma'aser Sheni to the entire barrel, but left the revius of Chulin, even though when you come to sell this revius to Lokeach, you say this barrel, in other words, this revius I'm selling you, besides the kankan that I want to lead myself for the Ma'aser Sheni with is in it, that the kankan does not become tatel to the Ma'aser, and it goes out to Chulin. Okay? We had a little bit of difficulty when we read that in the Mishnah, but that's the idea, what you're saying here. I'm selling you this barrel, and which has a little bit of, not the Ma'aser Sheni part of it, but the little bit of it which is not Ma'aser Sheni. I'm selling it to you, which I need to reserve for the Ma'aser Sheni part. So it's a kankan Chulin, because this container is not perfectly Ma'aser Sheni, there's some chulin inside it. So again, we don't say that there's this integral relationship between the peel to the fruit, which would make the kankan part of Ma'aser Sheni. No, the kankan remains chulin. Okay, that brings us to the end of the parak. We will stop here.